Everyone. Hello.
Hello.
Friends, can you hear?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Yes. Hi, friends. Welcome back. Very good evening. I hope this is the first demo session for Selenium automation. Let me brief myself. So this is Ravi Kanth On. I was giving trainings on Selenium automation as I work for Selenium automation in the company called Prolifix. Most of the company know that. Earlier it was semantic-based technologies. Since 6 years ago, the name was changed to semantic to Prolifix. And I was been working for the client called VMware, which was located in Bangalore. And I'm having on-site experience. 1 year I worked for the same client VMware in California. So right now I was giving Selenium automation training to all you friends. Okay, friends, let's start introduction of what are the things we are learning to learn Selenium. Friends, the first thing to learn Selenium, the first prerequisite is like we must know some programming knowledge. Next, we have to learn the Selenium and we have to learn some tools and we have to learn some frameworks. Getting friends? All these things we have to learn that. First, we have to learn some programming language.
Hello.
Yeah.
Your voice is breaking out. I'm not audible.
So friends, can you please confirm everyone is facing the same or is good?
Yes, sir. Some disturbance is there.
Is there? 1 second. Let me 1 second.
No, we are able to hear you clearly.
Friends, is it okay now? Is it okay now?
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank
Yes,
you,
sir.
friends.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Multitasking is going on. That's why it was buttons. In home, my kid is watching programs. That's fine. Multitasking, right? Yeah. So multi-programming languages we require. So what are languages? I'll tell that. Next, our Selenium WebDriver, and we required some tools, and we required some frameworks. Okay. So these are things we require to
Hello?
work with. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not able to hear you.
Friends, can you please confirm? Is everyone okay, or only the madam is getting issue? Like, can you please confirm once, please?
Hello.
Right.
I can hear
Yeah.
you, sir.
Yes.
Hello.
Madam, can you please? Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you
Hello.
too, sir.
Yes. I think some people are facing some issue, I guess. From
Hello.
my end is okay. Hello, who is this?
Hello. I can hear you, sir.
Yes. Yeah, Srinivas. Thank you, sir. Yeah. So everyone able to hear? I think some people who are joined from mobile network, please kindly please switch to your Wi-Fi's. Okay, Wi-Fi. So friends, now these are the things is the mainly required to learn the automation, not only the Selenium. Okay, it's any automation. Fine. Programming language. What kind of languages I should know? Friends, my Selenium supports various languages bindings like Java, C#, Ruby, Python, PHP, and Go programming, and JavaScript, etc. Perl, R language, like these languages also support Perl, R language. But the basic core languages my Selenium supports means Java, C#, Ruby, Python, and JavaScript. And remaining programming language, what I said, PHP, Go programming, Perl, R language, some more languages are there. Dart is one of the language. All the languages which are supported other than this Java, C#, Ruby, Python also. Okay, fine. But main core is that these are the 4 programming languages majority of the companies that are using to build their automation scripts. Any of the language banning, you must be sounds good. So we majorly companies are going with Java. Okay, we go with the programming language sounds good with Java. Yes. And next, Selenium WebDriver. We must be perfect in Selenium WebDriver. Friends, most of the people say like Selenium is a very easy. Yes, Selenium is very easy, friends. So what is entire power is up to you. How much your sounds good on programming language. Friends, WebDriver, writing a WebDriver script is very simple. The only mainly you have to concentrate on locators. Writing a WebDriver script, a statement driver dot find element, you have to give the locator by dot id, by dot name, like this. Like how the human beings are identified with their properties like first name, last name, height, weight, color, Aadhaar card, SSL number with the properties, how the person is identified. The similar way, every web application element should be identified with their respective properties. So identifying the web elements using some properties, you defining some XPath, CSS selectors. That is the main activity. Without identifying the elements, we cannot perform any operations. Writing a WebDriver code is very easy. Within 15 to 20 days, we can learn the Selenium WebDriver script. Only this thing. The programming languages, Java core concepts we require. That's a 20 days. We'll be completing this programming language. Then after that, we come to the Selenium WebDriver for 15 days, 15 to 20 days, hardly. 15 days is enough. And next, coming to the tools. So what tools we are learning here as part of the Selenium? Yes, we'll be learning like test, what we say, like Marvin build tool we use, like Marvin build tool we use. Okay, and we use like GitHub servers, and we'll work like with the Jenkins, use like auto IT tool. Okay, like these tools will be working when working with automation. So friends, Marvin build tool, GitHub server, Jenkins, these all are the DevOps components. Where DevOps is not a software, DevOps is a culture which provides some components like Marvin, GitHub, Jenkins, Chef, Puppet, Ansible, Dockers, Kubernetes, like these all the components which enhance the DevOps to automate the process. So DevOps is a component which automate our process. Okay, so DevOps, some of the components we use in our automation, okay, to make it process happen. So Marvin is a build where we build our automation scripts. We are developing our WebDriver scripts where we build these WebDriver scripts in using the tool called Marvin build. Friends, once you develop your WebDriver scripts using Marvin build. So earlier build tools having so many are there. Earlier before Marvin, people use as a build tool called Ant. Okay, now at present the organizations are using build tool as a Marvin, and some people 90% are using Marvin, 10% they are using build tool called Gradle is one of the component in DevOps. So and Marvin, Gradle, these three are the build tools. So and we are not using no more, and Marvin build is a current trend going on. 90 to 95% we are using to build our projects using build tool as Marvin. Very 5% people only using Gradle as a build tool. Okay, fine. And GitHub servers. Friends, once you develop your project code in using build tool, where we organize these builds, where we organize the builds, it should be in some distributed center system. It should be in a distributed servers like GitHub servers. Is the source versioning control tools. We are organizing all the build source in a GitHub servers. It's a distributed server where we keep all the builds in a Git servers. So anyone, people being in different locations, they can easily access that the code available in a GitHub server. Everyone can be in the same sync in working on a latest builds. So we organize the developer builds in a GitHub server. This is a source versioning control tool. Okay. So before GitHub server, we have a VSS. After that, we have SVN as a source versioning control tool. Now we are working with the GitHub servers. So almost every companies are using a source versioning control tool as GitHub servers. No SVN and no VSS. Those are outdated. Like how the build tools we have and Marvin Gradle and is deprecated. Like this, before Git we have a source versioning control tools like we have like VSS and SVN. Those are outdated now. Now the trend is source versioning control tool is a GitHub servers. And okay, once we develop your project in a Marvin build tool, that was being organized in keeping storing in a GitHub server. So you and myself, everyone can access this code working on an updated code in a distributed manner. Okay, once we develop and keep in a server, next is what we have to execute that builds which are available in a GitHub servers. So how we can do that? We can schedule by using the Jenkins tool where we can create a jobs in the Jenkins. To the jobs we are taking that the builds which are being in the GitHub server, we are pulling from GitHub server and giving to the Jenkins jobs, and we are scheduling that job how the manner to execute. Just to say Jenkins is a scheduling to schedule your builds which are kept in a GitHub server. It is pulling and scheduling using the Jenkins tool. Okay, AutoID is one of the tool. So this using AutoID tool, friends, will be automating Windows components. Friends, my Selenium WebDriver purely automates web elements only. Web elements means the elements which are presented in a browsers. Those are called web elements. So my Selenium can automate web application elements only, not the Windows elements. So how can I automate when I was working with Selenium web applications? If any Windows related things come suddenly during executing of web applications, how can I handle that? Yes, we have separate automation tools are there. AutoIT, Sukli, robots, like these. The 3 open source tools are there which can automate the Windows elements. So majority companies are using AutoIT. Okay, so these are the AutoIT tool is a freeware. We'll be downloading, we installing, we'll be automating that Windows elements if any comes when you're working with web applications. So these are the tools we'll be working on it, friends. And coming to the frameworks. Okay, frameworks. So frameworks in the sense we'll be talking about TestNG, and we'll be working like data driven and page object model. Hybrid framework, and next is like Cucumber framework. These are the frameworks we'll be covering, friends. TestNG and data driven, page object model, hybrid framework, and Cucumber framework. So in the market, in all the companies, the majority of the frameworks going on hybrid and BD framework. Won't be using these frameworks? Yes, we are using that frameworks. In hybrid framework, we'll be using TestNG, we'll be using data driven, page object model, all will be using in this hybrid. And BD Cucumber framework also we use TestNG, JNet, data driven, and page object. Everything will be used in this. These are the main frameworks in to build your projects. Selenium itself don't have any built-in framework. Okay, Selenium WebDriver will provide one environment to develop your codes that needs to be framed in using some frameworks. Using some frameworks only we can frame our builds and developing your Selenium WebDriver code. So what is the official site for Selenium? Yes, someone have it down. Yes, here it is. Selenium.dev is the official website for Selenium, friends. See, if you see here, this is the thing. Selenium automates browsers. That's it. It cannot automate any Windows elements. It only automates the browser contained elements only. So it automates web applications only. That's it. What you do with that is power is entirely up to you. How the power comes? The power comes from the programming languages. How much you are sounds good in programming technically, that's entirely sounds is from you only. Any of the language band we can make use to develop your web scripts, but Selenium automates purely web applications. That's it. Okay, na? Okay, next question. Does Selenium has any frameworks? Let me show you that. So if I click to the downloads, let me show you that. Let's come to this. I said like what are the language bindings my Selenium supports, right? Selenium client and WebDriver language bindings. The majorly the language binding supports Ruby, Java, Python, C#, JavaScript. These are the main core language bindings my Selenium supports. Apart from that, so many language bindings my Selenium is supporting. I said where I can see that. Yes, here. While language bindings for other languages exist, these are the core ones that are supported for the main projects hosted on the GitHub. These are the main language bindings supported. Apart from that, other language also supports. If I click on that, here we can see, friends, other language bindings. What is that? Go programming is a Google programming language. Haskell, Perl, PHP, R language, Dart. These are the programming languages. Language bindings also supports to build your Selenium WebDriver script. But the main core is that in the dashboard, what we are seeing, that is the main core. Apart from that, these also can be used. These language bindings got introduced one and a half year ago. 1.5 years ago, these language bindings also got introduced. Okay, now? And see, friends, if you see here at the top, Selenium can extend it in different ways. Selenium is only one environment where to develop your codes, WebDriver codes. But Selenium can extend it in different ways. How it can be extended? Yes, here are the number of drivers, bindings, plugins, and frameworks created and maintained by the third parties. Friends, drivers means what, friends? Browser drivers. So my Selenium purely automates web applications. If you want to open any of the web application using any of the browser like Chrome or Firefox or IE, Microsoft Edge, we require browser drivers. Like in your laptop, if you want to play the audio, how audio drivers are dependency. If you want to play the video drivers, how it is dependency. A similar way, any browser, if you want to open your web applications, we require respective browser drivers. The driver exe is to download, needs to configure to your project, and we can open the browsers and track the elements. So these drivers are who has developed is Selenium? No. Selenium can be extended in different ways. So third parties has introduced these drivers and they have contributed to the Selenium community. See here are number of drivers and bindings means language bindings. So bindings. Who has introduced Selenium? Here, he is the author. Introduce Go programming language to automate the Selenium automation. Okay, and frameworks. So Selenium itself don't have any built-in framework. So these frameworks also by third-party teams only it was made. So okay, party drivers, third-party language bindings, and plugins and frameworks are created and maintained by the third parties, not by the Selenium community. Okay, na? See, friends. So the browser drivers, where to download means the drivers means here are the third-party drivers for respective browsers. Chrome browser drivers, Mozilla Gecko drivers, Opera, Safari, and other language bindings which are developed by the third party teams, developed and maintained by the third parties. And some of the third party frameworks. So here, programming languages are supported through Selenium drivers. Okay, na? These are libraries made for each language that expose commands from the Selenium API natively in the form of methods and functions. Okay, libraries are always defined in the methods one, right? Methods or functions only. All libraries are defined. Whatever the programming languages, everything the libraries are defined as the methods only, right? Yes. Selenium is often used to automate web applications for testing purpose, but it does not include a testing framework. Some testing frameworks that can be used with Selenium as listed below. So friends, these are the different frameworks supported by respective language bindings. If your people are working with Ruby language binding, yes, this is the framework name and he is the author for that. And the people who are developing your web JavaScript using JavaScripting. So for JavaScripting, this is the framework. This is the other. These are all the third-party teams, right? For Java, Python, we having here. For Java 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. For JavaScript, that's okay. These are the third-party teams has introduced these frameworks, and it can be extended to our web JavaScripts in building your project. These respective frameworks. Okay, now. And friends, for Selenium, we have some sponsors. For Selenium, we have some sponsors are there. If we come down here, these are the sponsors. Selenium level sponsors. These are the sponsors for Selenium, friends. To grow Selenium, these are the people sponsors for the Selenium. Support for Selenium projects. If you click more, learn more, we can see here Selenium sponsors. We can see that Selenium level sponsors, and we can see the platinum level sponsors. Like how we have a credit cards like platinum cards, gold cards like this, and we have like platinum level sponsors, test board and so company, gold level sponsors, and silver level sponsors. Signity is there, JetBrains is there. Getting up. These are the sponsors, level sponsors. Even you also be a part of sponsor. Yes, you can contribute yourself. Sponsoring. Suppose you want to sponsor to Selenium. Yes. Would you like to your company to be listed off this page? You want to sponsor it? You click on this. They'll give all the sponsor level details for this level of sponsor, what amount you have to pay, giving like sponsorship levels. For Selenium level sponsors are different. Platinum, gold, silver, bronze level sponsors are different. The payment is the one. You can be part of the Selenium community, and you can support the Selenium to grow day by day in providing the language bindings and frameworks and whatever you want. Contribute. You can pay that, and you can contribute to grow the Selenium day by day. Everyone will use your product with Selenium. Getting friends? Yeah. So here, so everyone has come to one understanding now. Yes. So Selenium itself don't have anything like language bindings, drivers, and frameworks. Selenium is have only one built-in libraries. It has some functions using some language bindings, and we are opening that on the browsers and interacting with web elements using some frameworks. Okay, fine. SNG framework, which is a Java-defined framework. Data-driven page are not a framework, friends. Honestly to speak, these are called as approaches. Data-driven. So we are building our test cases. Every test case has a group of steps. Every step requires some data. Where we store the data, we have so many sources are there to store the data. Like we can store in the properties files, we can store in a flat files, we can store in a JSON files, we can store in a Microsoft Excels. Any of the data sources we are using to organize the data and storing any of the sources, and we are getting the data and giving your test case steps. Okay, how we organize the data? Data driven testing. And page object model. Here itself the name says irrespective of the pages, it is talking that page object model. Friends, in our web applications we can find number of pages, right? Login page, registration page, add to cart page, payment page, getting around like this, women's page, menswear page, cosmetics page. Like this, we have a number of pages together. We call as a one website. So irrespective of the pages, we are building our framework, which is nothing but page object model. What is the advantage of maintaining page object model? Means see, suppose I'm having 10 pages in my project. For each page, one Java class I would like to maintain. Instead of maintaining all page information, one Java class, each page level elements and operations I will organize in one Java class. 10 pages, 10 Java class, I break down the functionalities. It becomes very easy to understand, easy to maintain, easy to debug, and easy to understand also. So it's a data driven and page object model. I can talk like this as not a frameworks, as a approaches. The way you organize the data, the way you organize the web pages. Okay, the frameworks, honestly to speak, TestNG, Hybrid, and BD Cucumber framework. These are the frameworks I used to talk. Okay, TestNG is a Java defined framework. Like this, before TestNG, we have one more framework called JUnit. JUnit after that TestNG. These two frameworks are designed by the Java only, Java implemented frameworks. Okay, na? TestNG framework you're using that, and Hybrid Cucumber, this is the frameworks using that. And what are the benefits you'll be getting? What are the benefits you are getting for this means, friends? Benefits you get. Friends, first benefit you'll be getting that source codes, okay, materials, okay, you get soft copy material for Java and Selenium you'll be getting. And second benefit you'll be getting that will get recordings of your current batch, recordings of batch. Will you view access for 1 year? Of course, for 6 months, but on request base, I can do for 1 year. View access will be there. Not a problem. It's a view access and source code. So friends, whatever I build the code in front of you, like Java or Selenium or any projects we are working with. So any source codes I build that I'll be sharing through GitHub server. Source codes will share through GitHub servers. I'll share the GitHub link to everyone. In that, whatever the databases I build a code, I will commit in a GitHub server that I'll be shared to everyone. Daily, you can pull the code from there in your local systems, and you can take as reference and you can practice it. And the final thing is this course is for entirely for 3 months. Java, Selenium, DevOps tools with framework and project all together. It takes like almost 3 months, okay, to complete this. So so this can be help for you after completion of this course, like a 6 to 8 years experience guy, how he can manage worker with hands free. That much awareness you will build after completion of this 3 months of course. It's a job oriented training, friends. It's not normal training, it's job oriented training. These are the benefits you'll be getting of this course, friends. First, we'll be start the programming language Java. After completion of Java only, we'll be going to the Selenium. So in between this Java and Selenium, I will take on weekends. I will update you on Saturdays, Sundays. I'll be taking, friends. On those weekends, I will be taking the tools, friends. I will take as tools like Maven, GitHub Server, Jenkins. This all together, these tools I will take for 15 hours. This Maven, GitHub Server, and Jenkins. This I'll take for 15 hours. So 1 hour daily means 15 days will be getting lost. That's why these 3 tools I was taking on weekends. I will update you on which weekend we have to attend for this Maven, Bill, and Jenkins. Okay. We are totally occupied for frameworks entirely for 1 month. Entire 1 month we are occupied with this frameworks only. Okay, and Java and Selenium we are occupied. This is for 1 month. The Selenium is for 1 month, and frameworks is for 1 month, and tools will be get covered on weekends. This all together 3 months is the project oriented training. Okay, friends. And coming to that course content, which I'm going to be delivered to you for these 3 months. I'm giving in a brief. Anyhow, you'll be getting this course content to all friends. I want to show you in front of you. So Selenium WebDriver. First we go with the Java. After that we'll come to the WebDriver. So how to launch your browsers. Friends, I will never teach any hard-coded data. So in real time, so most of the people on YouTube, you can find everyone teach like as a hard-coded scripts. Hard-coded scripts we never use in the real-time process. So for your understanding, I will teach you hard-coded data, and that I will make to convert into the framework in itself the day what the concepts we thought. The same day I'll make to convert into the reusable actions, reusable methods. Okay, na? Opening the browsers, launching the browsers, everything as reusable functions will be converting in the day itself only. Okay, and coming to the option classes and the files. Friends, once you're automating your web applications, everything is automation responsibility only. Every automation engineer responsibility, everything needs to get automated. When you're working manually means, so we can interact and we can perform anything. But in automation, automation is a responsible person to handle any kind of uninterrupted events comes. User is the responsible to handle that. Friends, you know, when you're working with web applications, we can notice so many strangers will be coming during executions. Like notification is one stranger for us. It will so stopper. See, when I open an application, so some notification comes, until unless you accept or dismiss, it will allow us to access other elements. Some information bars will come, some certification errors will come, and some security alerts will come. Like these kind of things will be making so stop for our automation execution. So if any situation comes, uninterrupted, even any interruption comes, we are in a position to handle that. In that case, what we have to vasikarna our browser. Yes, we have to vasikarna our browser. So how we can vasikarna our browser? How can we take charge of our browser and my control measure in creating the browser profiles? Yes, for every browser, we have to create a own profile for the Chrome browser, Firefox browser. So on that, your created browser profiles, we are doing all the necessary settings. Like any browser logs comes, how to disable that. Any notification comes, how to disable, how to maximize the browsers, how to disable the information bars, a page load strategy, manage the certification errors. All these things I can handle in creating the browser profiles. This can be get handled with using the Chrome options class. With the combination of profiles and option classes, we'll be handling anything which is related to the browsers. So we have one the browser, right? We can do anything can be get handled with our profiles and with our option classes. We'll be working on that. And next is the locators. As I said, the major part in the Selenium to learn is the locators. Is the main things. Some people blindly know, they'll say like, I know all the locators. So we have to follow some rules and regulations to build your WebDriver script, writing the correct locators. Some elements to identify it is a static locators are there. Some are the dynamic locators. How can we write your dynamic locators? Everything as syntax we have to follow. We have 8 locators are there. And out of 8 locators, especially XPath and CSS, we have to concentrate more. Totally on locators, I'll be working on 6 days. 5 to 6 days, we are working on locators only. It's a major part for Selenium to learn. So XPath for 2 days will be working, and CSS for 1 day. 3 days is here, and rest 3 days is the basic understanding of XPaths and building the XPaths in a dynamic way. I'll tell that 6 days. See, there are some rules we have to follow when building your locators. Okay, when working writing your own locators. XPaths is the X here. So single attribute, multi-attribute XPath, parent-child relationship XPath using text of starts with contains self, parent, child, descendant nodes, ancestor nodes, following nodes, specific nodes. These are all the syntaxes to build your relative XPaths. So 2 days here we occupying with XPaths. And coming to CSS selectors. To build your CSS selectors, or to identify the elements using CSS selectors, how can we use that? Using the syntaxes only, we are building CSS selectors to interact the web elements. These are the rules we have to follow in building that. Yes, XPath and CSS. So 6 days we are occupied with locators only. Okay. And yes, synchronizations. Friends, you know, our applications will be very slow in loading the elements, but our automation scripts are very fast in execution, where some synchronization should be happen between this application and script. We must put some synchronization point between that. Then only my script will be, see, my application is very slow, my script is very fast. So I must make my script to halt for a while until all the elements loaded. So here I must use some synchronization methods like thread.sleep, implicit wait, explicit wait, all those things. One fine day will be talking on that. And as I said, what are the WebDriver code we develop? We'll be developing in our builds tool called Maven build. How to create a Maven build? Okay, I will show through Eclipse how to create and manually through command and how to create the Maven build, how to compile the code, how to execute your build. Okay, now how to configure to run the WebDriver scripts using Maven build. Okay, what is the importance of POM XML? How to configure, how to add the plugins in the POM XML. Okay, how to include your builds to execute through Maven project. Okay, na? All those things I'll be telling. How to add the dependencies in Maven. Okay, na? All those things we'll see in the Maven build for today's and TestNG framework. So friends, as I know that Selenium itself don't have any built-in frameworks. We must use some frameworks where I'm using TestNG framework. TestNG framework is a Java defined framework. Using this framework TestNG only, we are building our Selenium WebDriver code. In this TestNG, we will be talking everything in the form of annotations. Before annotations, after annotations, test annotation, data provider annotation, listeners. Okay, all these annotations, data providers like this, we're having so many annotations are there to work with the TestNG. So for TestNG is a framework which having some official website for TestNG as well. The official website is a testng.org. testng.org. Here we can see documentation for all these things. Download to, if we want to implement TestNG framework, we need some dependency jars to download. Come here and download. This is a documentation for TestNG framework. Here. So I'm saying in TestNG everything is annotation size, right? If I click on annotations, see these are the annotations. Every annotation having its own importance and priority takes place in building and executing the codes. Data providers, business like this. Okay, we'll be talking that all those things. Okay, understanding about the annotations, what is the priority of executing this TestNG classes, how to make disable not to execute particular test case. Okay, na? How to set the priority to execute my test cases using TestNG framework. Okay, na? How to set the dependencies among the tests. Suppose I'm having more than one test methods. So what is the flow I must go, and which test after which test to execute? I can set the dependencies. How to set the dependencies, how to group the test cases. Suppose I'm having group of test cases are there. And one group I want to make as a regression group, one group I want to make as a smoke group, one group as a sandy. Like this, we can make a groupings for the test cases. If we got a request to execute smoker, I'll call the smoke group. In the smoke group already I configured my test cases. Simply call the group called smoke. It takes place executing all the smoke test cases configured in that smoke group. Like this, we can group the test cases, and we can make a set the dependencies, and we can run the execution in a parallelly. Friends, parallel executions is allowed in TestNG framework. So where parallel executions will save the time of execution timeline. Yes, once you develop your WebDriver scripts, that same WebDriver script has to run in many browsers and many times in many operating systems. So one after other we are executing means it takes more time to complete my executions. I want to make all the browser executions in one time, in one place, in different locations. Yes, I can run my developed script, automation script. I can make execute in multiple systems, in multiple browsers at once, where I can save the time in execution. In one time, I can complete in all the browser execution. That's called parallel execution, which saves times in execution. Yes, the parallel execution can be held in TestNG framework. The parallel executions can be happen irrespective of the test methods, irrespective of the classes, irrespective to the suits. Okay, like this we'll be running our test case executions parallelly irrespective of these classes, methods, suits. I'll show you all those things. Okay, how to run all the, suppose we are developing number of test cases, all these test cases as a batch I want to run. I must group all the test cases. How to group that? All those things I will show you in the TestNG framework. How to parameterize using TestNG framework. How to pass the data to the test cases using the data provider annotations. How to generate the reports using soft assets and hard assets. All these things, reportings, everything will be talking in TestNG for 6 days. Okay, page object model. As I say, page object model means in respect to the pages we are talking. How many pages we have, that many Java classes we are maintaining that. If any new enhancements comes, in which page got impacted, that page relevant Java class we go on, will be updating that. If any of the test case we are supposed to execute, out of 10, which page we are executing, that page only we are loading that. Remaining pages we are not loading that. Buttons is living or not. And if any error comes, debugging becomes very easy. In which page getting error, that page one is going to be loaded to debug that. If any newcomer comes, easy to understand as page level information is available. Everything is advantage. Page object model. 3 days we'll be talking about page object model. And coming to the automating links. Friends, you know, in your web applications, majority of the web elements are links only. Majority of elements are links only. So we have static links are there, some are dynamic links are there. Okay, if you want to interact with static links, how can we work? Dynamic links, how to interact? Some group of links in a page, how to interact? Broken links. So you know, in a links, so many links can be broken. Like the brokens can be, it can be 403 forbidden. Like a page not found is one of the broken. Temporarily, it's redirected to so and so. Temporarily the site is not available so and so. Okay, like this we can expect so many brokens in the links can be happen. So we are developing a web application, so many links are there in my page. I want to check it once, what are the links, with other link, every link is broken or which is broken. Okay, I want to know the type of broken first. So how to find the broken links? So all these things will be come to know automatic links, but finally talk about the how to work with the links, web links, hidden links, broken links, static links, dynamic links, group of links, how to work with that. We'll work on that. Drop downs. So friends, you know, in a drop down, single drop down will be there, multi drop down will be there, bootstrap drop down will be there. In drop downs, we used to select the options. Single drop down means only one option we select. Multi drop down means multiple options we select that. Okay, now selecting the option in a drop down in 4 ways we can select that. Using the send keys we can select the option. Using the select class we can select the option. Using with action classes we can select the option. Using JavaScript executors also we can select the options in a drop down. In all the approaches, how to select the options in a drop down, single selection, multi selection, everything I'll show you one day on a automating drop downs. Pop-ups, like you know, whenever any pop-ups comes during your automation script execution, we are the responsible person to automate to handle that pop-ups. All those things we'll talk. As that action classes and JavaScript executors. So some of the advanced elements in your web application, if it is presented like mouse over elements, whenever I was mouse overing on particular element only, it is getting populated. That kind of elements, how can we handle it? Using the action classes only. Right click. If you want to right click any of the elements, so with action class only, you can right click on that any of the element. If you want to double click, if you want chain action, suppose when I was mouse overing on particular element, some pop-up is coming. On that sub pop-up, again I am mouse overing that, again sub pop-up is coming, like this chain actions. Okay, na? Chain actions can be handled with using action classes. Dragging and dropping. Sliders. So in your web application, some slide bars will be there where to move horizontally, vertically. So sliders. All these kind of advanced elements can be handled with using the action classes and JavaScript executors. What we are in, with the WebDriver elements, how we are interacting with web elements, similar way using JavaScript executors also we can interact with web elements in performing the operations. We'll talk on this. So next, automating Windows components. Friends, if you want to automate Windows elements, so my Selenium will not automate anything Windows related things. So third party tools we have to learn that is the auto ID. How to install auto ID, how to build your auto ID codes, how to compile the auto ID codes, how to execute auto ID codes in associating to your WebDriver script. All these things we'll be talking about one day about the auto ID. Web tables. Friends, in a web table, some of the elements will be present in inside the tables, web tables. Tables, it contains rows and columns. Okay, na? So how can we identify the web elements if it is presented inside the web table? Okay, na? Static tables and dynamic tables will be there. So how to and also we have date pickers are there. If you want to book your flight tickets or hotel rooms, there we have to select which date you want to select. Okay, that is a date picker we call. That's also table, web table only. Based on matching month and year, we are selecting the date pickers and web tables, static web tables, dynamic web tables, paginations, how to work with the dynamic web tables. Some web tables are static, fixed number of rows will be there. That is okay. We will be finding the rows. Some of the web tables are there, dynamics are there, dynamic web tables are there. So which means it is suppose take a hospital entry management system. So today's inpatients we having 100 people are coming, but in a screen try to fit only 10 entries only, we can see that. If 11th entry if you want enter means what to do, we have to click on next page. That's a pagination. It comes to the next page like 11 to 20. 11 to 20 entries will be entering that. That is enter over. Next 21st entry I want to enter means next I want to click on the third page. Click on next button like paginations. These are the dynamic, right? Yes. How to work with the static web tables, dynamic web tables, and date pickers. All these things we'll be talking on web tables for 3 days and reading the data. See friends, once you're automating a WebDriver steps, we have to provide some test data. So test data can be provided in different approaches using the properties files and XML files and Microsoft Excel's different sources we can. So all these XMLs, properties files and Excel files will be talking for 7 days on this data. Okay, data related things. And next is a grid. Friends, in Selenium, we have totally 2 components we will be working with. Okay, with what is the appropriate tools to work with Selenium means WebDriver and grid. See, even if I open this official website for Selenium, friends, one second. If I open this selenium.dev website, here we can see in the starting, we can see the components of Selenium, WebDriver, ID, and grid. Which is the appropriate automation tool in Selenium means WebDriver with combination grid. What WebDriver does, what grid does. So friends, in using the WebDriver, we want to create a robust browser-based regression automation suites and tests to create browser-based. So once you're developing your automation scripts that needs to execute in all the browsers, such a way we are developing your WebDriver suites and tests in executing any browsers. So, okay, once we develop the WebDriver script using WebDriver, then we have to scale to distribute in executing in multiple platforms and multiple browsers. Who will do that? Grid. Grid will does. What grid does? Yes, which will scale and distribute and running the test on several missions and manage multiple environments from central point. Getting it? So for to implement the grid concept, we must create a hub and we must create a nodes and we have to pass the parameters in passing the desired capabilities in which browser, in which platform to execute. All this grid will be talking for 4 days end-to-end setup. Okay, na? So after developing a WebDriver scripts, we are executing parallelly. Friends, only grid is not doing parallelly. TestNG with combination grid only. Yeah, see, when using TestNG, it executes only in local system. If you want to execute parallelly in different systems, there we have to set up a grid concept. With TestNG grid concept only, we are running parallelly. Okay, na? Yes. And coming to that, Jenkins, you know, it's a continuous integration process which schedules your builds. Whatever you develop automatically, it is going to be scheduled here, just like as a kind of alarm piece. We do one configuration program like weekday or weekend, 2 programs we're configuring. Weekday we having office, we want to wake up by 6 a.m. In weekends we don't have office, we want to wake up at 8 a.m. Monday to Friday I was configuring once at 6 a.m. Saturday, Sunday I was configuring for 8 a.m. So according to you configured, it's going to ring the bell. How it is happening? A similar way in Jenkins also, we created jobs. For the jobs, we are assigning our builds, taking from the GitHub server, linking to the Jenkins. That jobs we are configuring how the manner you want to schedule them. A hourly, weekly, quarterly, soon after code is committed. How you want to schedule the builds? Yes, with this Jenkins scheduler only, we are going to be scheduling our builds. Since GitHub server is a source versioning control tool where we organize our Marvin builds in storing in a GitHub server. Here, committing, pushing, revert backs, okay, creating the repositories, creating the accounts, while merging one repository to other repository. If any merges comes, one branch to other branch, if you are merging any conflicts comes, how to resolve it. All the concepts end to end we'll be talking on GitHub server for 5 days. We are working on the GitHub server. For Jenkins, we are talking about on 4 days we're talking on Jenkins. Okay, na? Like Cucumber framework and hybrid framework. These are the things which are going to be covered as part of this course, friends. I hope everyone is clear about day 1 demo. Tomorrow we'll take the demo 2 on Selenium. Friends, at glance, I have given the information what I was going to be covered. Tomorrow we will talk about demo 2. There we talk about Selenium introduction. Okay, automation and Selenium introduction. We'll be talking the second day demo tomorrow. The same link, same timing. Friends, any doubt here? Any doubt here?
No, sir. Clear.
Yeah.
Sir, when will we
Okay,
know
friends.
what time your batches run and the other details?
Yes, this is the time. 5 to 6. The time.
In
The
the
new batch
evening.
is the demo 1. Sorry?
In the evening.
Yes, in the evening.
Okay. So this is the time that we will follow every day.
Yes, Monday to Friday is the class. Monday to Friday is the class, daily 1 hour. And in weekends, like we'll be talking about DevOps tools like Marvin, GitHub Server, Jenkins. It will take like 15 hours to work on these tools. That's why I don't want to waste of time daily, 1 hour on these tools. That's why I was planning these tools for on weekends. I will update you that I will take these concepts. I will take weekends.
Okay.
Of course, I'll take for each tool. Okay, 2.5 like
Okay.
this. Totally 15 hours we required for this DevOps tools. Every Saturday, like 2.5 hours, I'll take like. Okay, na? To complete this
Okay,
course.
sir. Okay, sir.
And
Thank
what
you.
will be the timing for Saturday, Sunday?
Sorry?
What would be the timing for Saturday, Sunday for completing this tools syllabus?
It will be like early mornings. Early mornings, like 6 to 8:30, like 6 to 8:30, 2.5 hours morning. Not in the evenings. Because, in the weekends, everyone in the evenings only used to go outside, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Mornings, early hours is the
And,
best time for everyone, right? Yes.
and what is the duration of the class? It's 3 months.
Yes. So Java for 1 month and Selenium for 1 month and tools in the weekends will cover and frameworks is 1 month. And to one it's a job oriented training.
So how does it work? From Monday to Friday, we have 1 hour a week.
Yes.
And on
One
Saturday, Sundays, do we have both days or just one day?
no only Saturday. Only Saturday I'll take for this DevOps tools. 2.5
Okay.
hours.
Okay.
No,
Only Saturdays, 6 to 8:30 in the morning.
yes. Not regular, not daily Saturdays. I'll take alternate Saturdays because everyone wants to enjoy on Saturdays also, right? We're getting only 3 only. Right?
Okay.
So,
That's
and you, hello?
yeah, go ahead, man.
So you'll be giving live projects also, right?
Yes, on hybrid framework and Cucumber framework, in these frameworks, we are working projects. So hybrid framework, working on e-commerce application, and in BD Cucumber framework, we are working for shared market application.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
in this 3 test case, we'll be automating on hybrid framework. In this Cucumber, we'll be automating three test cases. It's for
Okay.
Salesforce application. In this, we are working with e-commerce application.
Okay.
This is for Salesforce. In this, we are working with e-commerce application, e-commerce or a share market application, whatever it was. Okay. And TestNG, I'll take one pilot project on this, one 2-3 days case on TestNG framework also. I'll make you build one project. Okay, now.
Okay.
This frameworks 1 month we'll be talking on this. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, friends.
Oh,
I
okay.
Thank you.
right. Okay, friends, done for today. Demo 1. Tomorrow we'll take a demo 2. We'll have introduction on automation and what are the automation tools in the market. Why only we use Selenium as automation tool. All these detailed descriptions we'll be talking in our next class demo 2. Okay, friends. The same timing, same link. Okay.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, friends. Thank you
Okay,
very
thank you.
much. Have a nice day. Bye.